Coming up in the morning, Bay Street is on fire. Environmental court is in session. It's the middle of the week. Happy Hump Day and good morning and welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. And joining us live here on the Morning Edition to tell us how things are shaping up weather-wise is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. We'll get you started with our ZNS Tower Cam, which is picking up some cumulus clouds over waters just at entry of our Nassau's Harbor. And as we go to our satellite picture, we can see that we do have just a few clouds floating around, safe, a little pocket of clouds near Nagua, and that's going to be pushing off towards the east later on today. Outside of our studios, as we saw on the tower cam, we have just a few clouds, temperature at 72 degrees, relative humidity 60%, east-northeast winds at 8 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,018.7 millibars, that's 30.11 inches, and it is rising. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 66 degrees in Green Turkey, Marsh Harbor at 67, 66 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands at 71, 72 degrees in Allenstown, Bimini, in Harper Island, 71, Roxanne, Lutra, 71, Artistown, Cat Island at 72 degrees, 70 in Staniel Key, Camp Space on Andrews, 70 as well. Fresh Creek in Central Andrews, 71 degrees, 72 in San Salvador and Rum Key. As we take you further south, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, 73. Betsy Bay, Megwana at 74, also Acklands at 74, Ragged Island 73 degrees, Matthewtown, Nagua 74, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 75 degrees. Your boating forecast for today for all areas, northeast to east winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. The high tide, that will take place at 8:44 this morning, and your low tide at 3:07 in the afternoon. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the Morning Edition. Stay tuned, your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. See you later on in the newscast. A fire erupted on Bay shortly after 4 a.m. this morning. Our Vaughn Albury is standing by live on Bay Street with the latest. Good morning, Vaughn.
Thanks, LaDawn. We are here live on Bay Street. I'm standing in the middle of the street. There's no traffic flow. But earlier today, there was a fire here just west of DeVoe Street. And that fire erupted in the building formerly housing Gadet's Jewelers, owned and operated by the family of Roosevelt Gadet. Now, around 5 a.m., I was coming on my way to work, and I happened to see the fire along with Charles Fisher. And we went and got the camera, and we recorded the fire during its peak around 5 a.m. Here's that report. Fire here on Bay Street near DeVoe Street has totally consumed the old Gadet's Jewelry. Now, I could tell when we arrived here a bit earlier, fire flames were leaping high into the sky. The intensity of the heat, the flames, has now caused the building, the top floor of this building, to collapse all the way to the back. Now, firefighters, there are 3 fire trucks here and dozens of firefighters, and their mission was to save the other buildings, which is the Maynard building on the corner of DeVoe and Bay Street, and the buildings just west of the Gadet's Jewelry. I could tell you, I could still see flames coming from the top floor of the building just west of Gadet's Jewelry. Like we say, now you can see on the bottom floor, the flames are still quite high, and the firefighters with the hoses are trying to ensure that this building, which is just west of the old Gadet's Jewelry, is not totally consumed by the fire. With me is Chief Superintendent of Fire Services, Walter Evans. Tell us what's happening, because this seems to still be on.
Yes, good morning, Vaughn. Good morning, Bahamas. This is a very active fire on Bay and DeVoe streets. And as you can see in the background, we have a 2-story structure which went up in flames. Sometime this morning, when we got here, this building was fully ablaze. The fire right now has caused some damage to a building on the eastern side, which is also a 2-story building. One is which is on the western side, and there are several buildings which are on the southern side. We have all of our fire units which are on the Providence. They've been called out. We've called in all of our off-duty personnel. we've called in the management team. They are on their way here now. And so once they arrive, and we'll be in a position then to ensure that this fire does not move either east, west, north, or south. This is Bay Street. We know this is the heart of the commerce of New Providence, and so we're very mindful of that. And right now, all of the resources are being rolled out. We feel pretty much comfortable where we are right now with what is happening from our strategy. At this point, we know that there have been several explosions. There's been building collapse, which is an indication that this fire is very intensified on the inside. All of our staff members are up and about, and they're really up to the challenge. And we are supported here also by our Assistant Commissioner, Mr. Lehman Delavo, who is the Assistant Commissioner responsible for public safety.
Was wind a factor?
Wind was a factor here. The wind was blowing more towards the south. Wind has spared this fire. At this point, we have a unit which is at the sea. We're using salt water. We had all of the water on the inside of those tanks of all of the trucks. They were exhausted based upon the intensity of this fire. This is a very intense fire. It has the high potential of spreading to any of these buildings. And if it spreads, and if it moves either east, west, north, or south, and then this is an indication, this will be an indication to us that we would really have a serious matter on our hand that we will have to contend with. But again, as I've said, our strategy has been that of ensuring that this fire does not move further than where it's at now.
Now, more than 2 hours after that, firefighters are still fighting these flames, and the flames have been extinguished from the front. But at the back of the building, there are firefighters dealing with smoke, and there are quite a few of them, and they're still using hoses to try and extinguish the fire. Now, I can tell you that the family of the Maynards, Peter Maynard and his wife and his son, are here on the scene. We have not seen any members of the Cadet family here. We will have more on this report, but I can tell you this has also been a busy street, but now there's no traffic flowing as the traffic diversions are already here. So if you're on your way here along Bay Street, here's what you need to know. We spoke with Chief Superintendent Walter Evans on the traffic diversions today.
All the vehicles and pedestrians who are passing Bay Street, at least up until about 8 o'clock, this road will be closed. We're closing Bay Street. We're not allowing anything to pass just for safety reasons. And of course, if the fire may have the potential of being affected because we are not sure of the contents of this building. We have had several popping sounds, which were minor explosions, which are off-going. And so we're not sure as to what's on the inside. And for the safety of persons who are passing vehicles and pedestrians, this is a no-pass zone.
Now remember, Bay Street is closed between Victoria Avenue and DeVoe Street. So if you usually use this way to get to the east when you're traveling from the west, find an alternate route. It is very, very important that you find an alternate route because traffic has already begun to back up here. Reporting from downtown Bay Street, I am Vaughn Albury, ZNS Network News.
Good job, Vaughn. Now on to our top story this morning. After a long hiatus, the Environmental Court reopened yesterday before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt with 10 matters listed on the court's calendar. In court, 62-year-old Jody Farrington pleaded guilty to failing to comply with Public Health Order Number 10 by having unsanitary conditions at her Bowes Avenue, Montel Heights rental property. She also pleaded guilty to having inadequate water supply at that building and admitted that the premises were unsanitary. Lead prosecutor Maria Willie said back in October of last year, a health inspector went to her property and noticed that there was an outside toilet, an accumulation of garbage and debris. She said the health inspector also noticed there were no toilet facilities. Court resumes sometime today. In other news this morning, local media professionals, representatives from various major food chains, and entrepreneurs touring the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Facility in Andros on Tuesday. Officials at BAMSI hoped their efforts would go a long way at encouraging economic diversification and growth in the Bahamian economy. Desmond Saunders was there.
It's a known fact that 95% of the Bahamas' agricultural, fish, and food imports come from the United States. A sobering reality that raises concerns about our economic survival and food security. President of the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute, Tennyson Wells, hopes the tour would be the start at reducing our reliance on food imports from the U.S., but more importantly, increasing the amount of locally produced items in local stores.
We have these persons here today to purchase the excess produce that the farm will have for sale. The first priority to produce is to feed the students. And after what is left, we want to sell it wholesale.
Our first stop on the tour led us to BAMSI's livestock section, which showcases a variety of herd for wide distribution and consumption. Then it was off to the vegetable and produce area, where you would find a variety of fruits and vegetables. Onions, tomatoes, broccoli, and cucumbers are in abundance. These items are produced and distributed annually from this 500-acre facility. Just to give you an idea of what takes place at this facility, I'm here at the aquaponics section of BAMSI. 6,000 fish will be harvested in the coming weeks. 200 pounds of lettuce will be exported to local grocery stores.
But taking this visit to this facility is a great deal because it's a lot of stuff that we import that once we do proper coordination with this team, we should be able to bring in and supply to the local market.
A year-round supply, that's what I think they have to focus on, is getting everything in order to supply that full year.
Lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and sweet peppers, and try to perfect that. And then once we master that and try to expand after those steps have been made.
At the end of this tour, everyone agrees that our marine and agricultural resources are vast and untapped. It's going to take the combined efforts of stakeholders and you and I to reach our full potential. Here in Andros at the BAMSI facility, Desmond Saunders, ZNS News.
Thanks a lot, Desmond. National Teachers of the Year nominees for 2019 to 2021 will be celebrated in a major way by the Ministry of Education and the Bahamas Union of Teachers pretty soon. President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, did not let the cat out of the bag just yet by announcing the plans for the big celebrations, but she did say that all of the nominees are deserving of the prestigious award.
A major role in that, and we're going to be able to celebrate and honor our hard-working teachers from throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So we're looking at that. Oh, very, very critical, because in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, they want to know that their union is also there. I'm celebrating them, and actually, June the 12th, we go to elections again, so we're going to have a very exciting 6 months to a year in the Bahamas Union of Teachers.
Stay close, we've got more news right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition.
It's time to get some love from your bank. Make your 2019 financial resolutions a reality by getting up close and personal with your friends at Fidelity. Make it a date with free financial planning, debt consolidation, and an ASO savings account. Plus, discounted fees and a chance to enter to win exciting prizes like all-inclusive weekend getaways or dinner for two. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity, we're good for you. 12 schools, 5 islands, 1 big stage. The Music Project presents the 3rd annual High School Pop Band Competition, Saturday, February 16th at the Botanical Gardens. Come witness the nation's hottest high school bands from Exuma, Andros, Grand Bahama, Bimini, and New Providence in fierce, high-energy competition with special performances by some of the Bahamas' leading entertainers. Gates open at 12 noon and the competition kicks off at 2 p.m. sharp. Tickets are available at Airbrush Junkies and all participating schools.
1540 AM, 104.5 FM plays all the Bahamian hits.
Just call my name, 'cause love is patient and understanding.
All the hits, one station. The Bahamas is moving to the music. Music that makes you feel good.
The scent of your skin is intoxicating.
Home of the #1 Bahamian music beat, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, the People Station.
If you are building or renovating, and if you want a one-stop shop, then We Buy You Sell, your windows and doors specialist, is the place for the highest impact, highest quality, fully laminated hurricane impact windows and doors, lifelong lasting PVC frame with steel in the frame, non-rust mechanism throughout the frame. We also have the best prices on porcelain, plank, and mosaic tiles. Visit We Buy You Sell in the old Hastings Tile Building on Robinson Road, or call us at 327-6427 or 698-1140.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Bipolar disorder is a mental illness marked by extreme shifts in mood. Symptoms can include an extremely elevated mood called mania. They can also include episodes of depression. Bipolar disorder is also known as bipolar disease or manic depression. Here to talk more about the disorder is Dr. Tracy King, clinical psychologist. Dr. King, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you for having me.
So Dr. King, talk to me a little bit about, are there a number of Bahamians suffering from bipolar disease?
Yes, we do have that disorder here in the Bahamas. We have quite a bit of females as well as males here that have that disorder.
Is there, I guess, is that the same thing as schizophrenia, or is it
No, it's a different category of mental illness. Bipolar is in the affective mood, whereas schizophrenia is in the psychotic spectrum of mental illness.
And what are some of the symptoms?
So with manic depression or bipolar, it has two different opposites. So we have the manic, which is the elevated mood or irritability. We also have the depressive aspect where the person has low mood. And so it varies. So when we talk about the manic or the mania, it is the elevated mood. A person may have a decreased need for sleep. They will have increase in activity or goal-oriented activity. They will have a euphoric increase in self-esteem and a sense of grandiosity, but also they will experience, with the depressive episode, decrease in the mood, changes in appetite, changes in sleeping, all of these spectrums. So it depends on the episode that the person is presenting with, but we know that there is that dynamic of high mood versus the low mood.
That sounds like symptoms Charles Fisher is having this morning. Talk to me about treatment for, bipolar disease.
Well, with bipolar, we have the medication aspect, but there's also the psychotherapy. So cognitive behavioral therapy has been known to be effective in treating that particular disorder. They also have family focus because the environment also plays a role, and a person with mental illness also affects the family dynamic. There has been a treatment specifically created for bipolar because, as we talked about, there's a cycling of the moods. So it's called the interpersonal social rhythm treatment that focuses on the person being able to maintain their routine as they cycle through the various moods.
And can persons live a normal life with bipolar disease?
Yes, even though bipolar is a lifelong diagnosis and illness, there are things that can be done to help a person be able to manage. And that's where treatment is always important, whether it's medication or psychotherapy or a combination of both.
Dr. King, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck to you.
Thank you for having me again.
Former student of the Stephen Dillard Primary, H.O. Nash Junior High School, and now Kingsway Academy High School student Jasmine Adamson achieved honorable mention at the annual National Awards ceremony on Monday. Adamson received 9 A's and 1 B in the Bahamas Junior Certificate examinations. In 2015, Adamson was among the only primary school students in the top 3 finalists in the National Spelling Bee competition, placing 2nd overall. Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, applauded Jasmine for her strong will to succeed, despite enduring some harsh criticism.
The time she attended Stephen Dillard and endured negative criticisms which suggested that a public school student would never reach the top. The devil is indeed alive. In her address, this is what Jasmine stated: it does not matter what school you attend, where you live, how much money you have. All that matters is belief in yourself and your willingness to work hard.
Now, after the awards ceremony, ZNS News caught up with Jasmine to get her take on the major accomplishment and how she is settling into her new environment.
It's definitely surreal. Definitely a lot of hard work went into doing my BJCs, and I feel like it all paid off. Definitely, I'm grateful for all my teachers and my parents, definitely, for pushing me through, helping me push through, and being able to get this award today. It was definitely emotional at first because the thought of losing all your classmates that you've been with all that time, but definitely I was able to adapt and get along with my new classmates, and it's amazing now.
Congratulations, Jasmine. Stay close. Sports is up next. You're watching The Morning Edition.
If you are building or renovating, and if you want a one-stop shop, then We Buy, You Sell, your windows and doors specialist, is the place for the highest impact, highest quality, fully laminated hurricane impact windows and doors, lifelong lasting PVC frame with steel in the frame, non-rust mechanism throughout the frame. We also have the best prices on porcelain, plank, and mosaic tiles. Visit We Buy, You Sell in the old Hastie's Tile Building on Robinson Road, or call us at 327-6427 or 698-1140.
You thought it was the talk of the town, but get ready for more. More energy, more excitement, exhilarating, compelling, informative, educational talk on The Conversation. I'm Shanique Miller. Pull up a chair with a cup of tea and join me weekdays at 4 on Radio Bahamas, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, and The Light, 810 AM for The Conversation. I'm excited to have you around the table.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Wednesday. I'm Charles Fisher, the Kendall G. Elijah Gym. Last night was rocking again as 4 teams were willing to celebrate a championship while 4 teams were fighting to stay alive. In senior boys play, the Mystic Marlins of Doris Johnson started out strong just as they did in Game 1, jumping out to a 9-zip run on the Rattlers of C.I. Gibson. But unlike in Game 1, the Marlins did not let up on the pressure and went at it hard on both ends of the court en route to a 65-54 win. And more importantly, evening this series 1-1, much to the delight of coach Danico Bowles.
Tonight we definitely had a bad attitude towards the game, like I said, do or die situation. So we came out here, leave it all on the floor, we want to thank God for us giving us the energy to refocus, bounce back after a quick game from last night. So I just want to thank God for allowing us to get this victory. We wanted to be solid on defense because we know we let it get away with us last night, but we just went back to basics. I told the guys just to keep it simple basketball and we'll win. I think we did that for the most part tonight, and that allowed us to come up with the victory.
We started off too slow in terms of getting in the ball game. We're tough enough, we're mentally tough. We got the lead in the third quarter, but physically and mentally we didn't get back on the defensive end. And they scored some easy baskets. We just wasn't making shots. And basketball is a game of nights. The night before was our night. The night was Doris' night because they was making shots. We came back into the game, took the lead, but at the end of the day we didn't keep the lead in terms of our mental toughness playing on the defensive end.
Junior Girls Series will also be going to a decisive Game 3. Pennant winners T.A. Thompson Scorpions were able to put that Game 1 loss behind them against H.O.N.A.S. Lions and secure the 50-46 win.
Happy with their way they played. They wanted it tonight. They actually executed, and they was in all those 50-50 balls. They was down on those 50-50 balls.
But we had the game right up to the fourth quarter with the superstar. So it means that if our guards had performed, we would have been better. But it's all good.
Donald Davis Jr. boys once again the champs and again taking care of the Raptors of C.H. Reeves to claim the top prize, sweeping their series with a 45-34 win.
It's been a long season, a lot of work, and I feel the jubilation, so jubilant here. And these guys came out tonight and played so hard. But hats off to C.H. Reeves. They're very worthy competitor. They're well coached, and they play hard every night. But you know, it's about us right now, and I thank God for that.
Also celebrating a championship this morning is the Ratless Senior Girls. Had another lopsided win over CV Bethel, 48-28.
They played well. They were tough mentally. Defensively, they were very aggressive. But our girls were, we wanted a little more in terms of execution, and we did that tonight. Anatol played as well, and CV played as well during the regular season. But we kept working. We keep working on the things we needed to get better on, and we did that throughout the season.
Now 2 games today. Game number 3, H.O. Nash T.A. Thompson Junior Girls. C.I. Gibson, Doris Johnson Senior Boys, who wants it most, will be decided tonight. 5 o'clock for the Junior Girls, tip-off, 8 o'clock for the Senior Boys.
Like when you're on the island and you're trying to duck the mosquitoes? Yeah. Pretty much.
This is our big adventure. See it on Ordinary People. Right here on TV 13. Yes.
In our final look at weather, we get you started with our satellite picture. High pressure will continue to dominate the weather over the next couple of days, and that means a very little cloud over the northwest and central islands. A little patchy cloud in the southeast, but that too will move off towards the east later on today. The forecast for today, mostly sunny with a moderate breeze in place. The high temperature getting up to 79 degrees. And tonight, we're looking at mostly clear and mild, 68 degrees for your low, and the extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, upper 70s during the daytime, and those nighttime temperatures will remain in the mid to upper 60s. Ladon?
Thanks, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the morning edition. But before we leave, we want to wish our Desmond Saunders a very special happy birthday. Happy birthday, Desmond. And that will do it here for the morning edition. Make sure to join us this evening at 6 p.m. for our 2-hour newscast. Once again, I'm Ladon Davis. Have a great day.